Milwaukee, Wisconsin is 8,000 miles from the traditional homeland of the Hmong people. This Midwestern city shares little in common with the mountain villages of China and Southeast Asia, where the Hmong have lived for centuries. Yet today, it is home for one of the largest Hmong communities in North America. Very few of them have ever heard about the three angels' messages, but that is beginning to change. Join me for the inspiring testimony of a Hmong church planter from Thailand who is bringing the light of truth to his people here in America. I'm Jem Castor, and this is ASAP Ministries Mission Matters. Pastor Chanchai was born in Laos. Like most Hmong people in Southeast Asia, his parents were animists. In fact, his father was a shaman. The family lived in the northern mountains near China until war pushed them toward the Thailand border when Pastor Chanchai was about 9 years old. There, a relative who was a Seventh-day Adventist pastor introduced them to Jesus and the teachings of the Bible. Eventually, they converted to Adventism. But a communist regime seized power in Southeast Asia. Persecution forced them to flee again, along with the hundreds of thousands of other Hmong. This time, they escaped to Thailand.
We had to flee from the village to the jungle and to survive in the jungle for 6 months. And we find whatever in the jungle that we can eat to survive. During the time in the jungle, every evening we gather together, 4 of us, and we pray. And we sing wherever we can sing, and we pray wherever we can pray. And we know that God is delivering us each day. And we dedicate ourselves into God's hands. We had to escape from the jungle. You know, the Mekong River is the border of Thailand and Laos. And we slowly swam to the Thai border. And they put us into the refugee camp.
While living in the refugee camp, Pastor Chanchai got married and had his first child. The young family soon left the refugee camp so he could pursue an education. Eventually, he completed an undergraduate degree at a mission college and began serving as a pastor and teacher for the Seventh-day Adventist Church in Thailand. Over the course of 4 decades, he served as a church planter, a teacher, pastor, and administrator, including a term as a president of Thailand Adventist Mission. But in 2015, at a general conference in San Antonio, Texas, God introduced Pastor Chanchai to a new mission field.
When I come from Thailand to the States, I visit the Hmong people and I see that there's a great need for serving God in the Seventh-day Adventist Church in Wisconsin in the States. And the people here say, Pastor, please come here. We need you. We need you to lead us to build a Seventh-day Adventist Church in Wisconsin.
Nearly 3 years later, God opened the door for Pastor Chanchai to return to the U.S. when ASAP Ministries and the Wisconsin Conference partnered to bring him to Milwaukee to serve as a church planter and coordinator for the Hmong Adventist group in America. Pastor Chanchai knew it would be a difficult task, but he made it a matter of prayer.
When we come to America, we found that the younger people, they are so busy. Many of them are working, many of them are studying, and they are not really paying much more attention in God. And I pray with my wife and say, well, we have to go and visit the elderly people. We have to go to the hospital to visit the sick people. We have to go and pray for those who are so lonely. And we reach the old people, then we can reach the young people.
Slowly the work began to grow. An Adventist farmer in Green Bay heard about Pastor Chanchai. The farmer had employed Hmong laborers on his farm for many years, and he invited Pastor Chanchai to come and give them Bible studies. He also regularly visited other groups and Bible study interests in Appleton, Sheboygan, and Madison.
Before the pandemic, my wife and me, We spend times to drive many hours a day to many different places. But when the pandemic, happening, we cannot go and visit, person to person, door to doors, but we can, have Facebook Live, Bible study and prayer. We can have a large impact for the ministry.
God has blessed Pastor Chanchai's tireless efforts. In just 2 years, more than 20 new Hmong believers have been baptized, and more are taking Bible studies.
With a partnership between the Wisconsin Conference and ASAP, we are able to have Pastor Chanchai working here with the congregations that meet in Milwaukee and in Madison, and they go back and forth every week between the two cities, bringing those people together on a week-by-week basis. Pastor Chanchai, I've worked with Pachia and others who are getting to know Jesus, leaving the old ways of animism behind. And I have thoroughly enjoyed the partnership that we have with Pastor Chanchai and found him to be a totally committed person to Jesus Christ.
More than 3 million refugees and 85 unreached people groups live right here in America. That makes the U.S. one of the largest mission fields in the world. ASAP Ministries is working with conference leaders and Adventist refugee and immigrant ministries of North American Division to provide support for lay leaders and church planters like Pastor Chanchai as they share the everlasting gospel with their people. And you can help advance this special work with your faithful prayers and financial gifts. Will you support these soul winners as they sow seeds of truth among the least reached here in America? Because Jesus is coming soon. Now more than ever, mission matters.